Are we recording?
Okay, so it's only 7, or it is 7 for a lot of the people in our time zone. So a lot of people are probably doing kids stuff, but I know everybody's going to catch the replay. But thank you so much for being on, Sara. Sara is she's above us. So it goes me, Monica, Lindsay Holsey, Elisa Entz, and then Sara Andersen. So Sarah's like our mom, one of our moms. And I'm so excited to have her talk today. Recently, Sara, you did a video in one of the pages about some tips and strategies. It was about how some people think that just throwing up a couple posts on social media is enough to run this business. And your response to that was so helpful. And so then I messaged Sara about speaking to our team on a call, and she graciously accepted. So Sara, I'm going to turn it over to you, but will you start by just telling everybody how you got started in the business and how long you've been doing this and all of that?
Yes. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm so thankful that she asked me to come on. I hurried and threw my hair up in a ponytail even for you guys. I took my hat off. If you know me, that's kind of a big deal. But okay, so like she said, my name's Sara, and I actually have been in since day one. So I signed up about 2 hours after they launched. I knew the Bradleys from high school, so I knew it was coming. However, this was something that was totally out of my comfort zone. I did not ever want to do a multi-level or a direct sales company. That was not my thing. I went to hair school. So for me signing up, this was outside of my comfort zone 100%. And I didn't know how it would go. I just kind of thought, you know what, my financial situation with my husband, he decided to quit his job to do a startup company. We were going to live out of savings for a year. It's a dang good thing Zyia came up, because we are at a year and a half now, and this startup company that he's doing is still not there. But anyway, it has saved us in the interim, but at the same time, it was a leap of faith, and it was totally not something I ever thought or wanted to do, but I knew it was leggings. And I say that all the time. It was leggings. I lived in leggings. My family everyone I knew lived in leggings. And so I knew I could probably talk some into buying something from me. That's all that I was going to try and do. So I guess I kind of wanted to show you kind of my story and the highs and lows for a minute, and a short thing about that. But so I started, and I knew I didn't want to just sell to my family. I wanted to break out into a bunch of different places, not just everyone that was around me here in Utah, because it started in Utah. Everyone I knew went to high school, knew Aaron. They were signing up too, right? And so I started reaching out and kind of branching out, and I signed up in February. I was able to hit director in May. Okay, so then summer hit, and everything went to crap. Not with the company, with me. I was like, my kids were home. It was distracting. I didn't want to take care of my team. I was like, you guys, this is crazy. We had moved 4 hours, so now I'm in southern Utah, and I ended up, so June I kind of kept kind of going, but July I had driven 4 hours up to do a boutique 1 week, and I sold no pairs of leggings. So then I drove 4 hours home, and then the next week I had another boutique. So then I drove four hours up there, and I sold 1 pair of leggings out of my stash, so it didn't even go to PV, and then I drove home. And on the way home, I told my husband, I'm quitting. This is stupid. I'm done. And he was like, whatever. No, you're good. Just hold on a little bit longer. And I was like, no, this is a waste. I'm not doing this. I don't know why I thought I'd be good at it. I'm not good at it. Anyway, so I made it through August, and looking back, my July PV was -10. That's how awesome that was. I hit director in May, and I was -10 in PV in July. So then August came. It was survival, honestly. But we had Summit, our first ever Summit in September, and we had a director's retreat, which is now the executive trip, but then it was the director's retreat. So I thought, I'm going to get through this, and then I'm probably just going to quit. Well, I went to director's retreat, and to my astonishment, people were rank advancing through the summer. I couldn't imagine how anybody could be rank advancing through the summer, but they did it. Jody Bennett had passed me. I was one of me and Lacey Christensen both hit director at the same time. We were the only ones in the company. And then I watched as Jody Bennett hit senior director. They announced it at Summit, like all of this amazing stuff. And I was like, what in the world? Come to find out, she worked through the summer. She pushed through and she actually put the work in through the summer. And guess what she got? Senior director. I was shocked. I was like, wait, how does that even happen? So anyway, I kind of was like, well, okay, no, I can do this. That lit a fire under me because I thought everyone was suffering, right? It was summer. And that lit a fire under me. And I said, I will be a senior director by October. October came. I kind of wanted to talk about my numbers really quick. And I'm only doing this so that you guys can, because I feel like it's more relatable to know like we're all in the same boat. But I hit in October my numbers. We had added 11 team members in October, and our group volume is 27,000. November hit, we added 22 new members, new reps, and our group volume was 60,000. Okay. The whole reason I want to tell you guys that story is because, number one, we're in October and November of this month, but because I think that story can tell you a few things. I think it can tell you, number one, the difference a month can make, right? So if you have had a bad month, that doesn't mean you're always going to have a bad month or that the next month isn't going to be killer. But number two, the power of goals and the importance of consistency. So that's kind of some of the things that I wanted to incorporate into what Katie had kind of talked or asked me to talk on. So I'm going to kind of go over some things for a thriving business that go so much more above and beyond posting to social media. I feel like this is like my battle cry now because I'm seeing it more and more. And maybe at the beginning, posting to social media maybe would have been enough. But I keep preaching to my first level that even so many girls are like, I just want to sell on social media. And I want to say, that's great. Like, that's hard. That's harder. That's a hard sell. That is work that you're not getting a ton of money back on. However, posting to social media is essential. It's an essential tool to show people you're there, to showcase what you're doing. It is not even close to being the only tool for you to be utilizing. There is so much to be doing. So I always tell them, look at the boutiques online. I promise you, posting to social media is the smallest thing that they do in a day. They have so much work going on behind the scenes. They are not just posting and making thousands. I mean, Poppy and Dot might be something different, but I promise you they're doing a ton of other work behind the scenes. So that's something that I truly do preach is social media posting is essential, but it is not the only tool and should only be used as, as the least thing you should be doing. I'm going to kind of go through a couple things, and then we're going to be talking about things that you can do. So things that we obviously know that we should be doing, which is goal setting. I think if you were on the call last night, you heard Blair Sales talk about how she started the company, and it wasn't until she wrote down her goals that she attained them. Isn't that shocking, right? I think we all do that. It sounds so simple. Write down your goals and you can attain them. Yeah, there's going to be work behind that, but what a great reminder to be able to see it every single day, but break it down. I want to take my kids to Disneyland in February. So guess what? We don't have extra income right now. I better be working my butt off to make some commissions to be able to pay for that. That's my goal, okay? Or Christmas, break it down instead of like a monetary goal, break it down into a physical goal. What do you want to achieve? I know so many are going for executive to hit Cancun, but there's going to be so much more that comes with executive, so write that down too, right? Make it a physical goal that you can see attaining. And then I think having an abundant mindset that you can, and you already have all the tools that you need to hit that goal. You are already the person you need to be to achieve what you want to achieve, right? There is going to be some uncomfortable moments. There's going to be some painful things you're probably going to have to go through. But you are already who you need to be to reach that goal, and you already have those people around you that are there to help you. You just need to find them, recognize who they are, and utilize them, okay? So the next thing, as far as goals as well as breaking them down, breaking them down to the day. I want to sell 2,500 in a month. That means I need to be doing this many parties, breaking those things down. The next thing is obviously being consistent. So what I did last summer in 2017 is I created a hole. I created a hole that I had to climb out of. And you know what's easier than climbing out of a hole is never creating the hole to begin with. So this summer, I made sure to be consistent. I was like, that was painful. And it was hard last summer to climb out of that hole. But I decided this summer, I'm being consistent and I'm posting trying to do every single day. We all know summer is hard and you don't want to like go kill yourself doing this, but find out what is more than reasonable for you. Okay. Stretch a little bit. You can post your outfits of the day. You can reach out to those people. We're going to talk about that in a minute, and do those basic things on the days you can't push harder. So I just decided to be consistent in my posting, in my reaching out, in the amount of parties that I was doing, and started to be, I found when I was more consistent, I was more proactive in my business and less reactive. I kind of was able to take control instead of reacting to what people, were saying to me, or the distractions that were coming at me. If I was consistent in my reaching my goals, I was able to be less reactive and more proactive. So let's see here. Okay. Sorry, hang on. Okay, the next thing that I definitely want to push, which is going to lead us into the next thing, which would be get comfortable with the uncomfortable. I know that you're going to look around at everybody around you and they are going to look like they're rock stars and they're super comfortable in front of the camera. They are really good at lives. And maybe you don't feel like you are good at lives. That's me. I actually hate doing lives. It is something I'm really scared of. I have to mentally pump myself up and then get on here and be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? The first time you do something is going to be scary, but guess what? The next time it's less scary, and then you get to tackle the next scary thing. So there's all of those things, is making a list of what will make your business grow that's uncomfortable, and then start tackling them one at a time, because that is the only way you're going to grow. The only way you're going to grow is by doing the uncomfortable things, because nothing ever grows in a comfort zone, right? It's when we're stretching and growing, and you can just kind of see the growth that comes from that. So, and this is going to be now going into what Katie had asked me to talk about. So like I said, social media is the least thing that you should be doing. It's essential, but it is the most basic thing you can be doing. If you're not seeing what you want out of your business, then take a step back and realize where you can do more. Something that I advise all of my girls to do is to get out of their circle. So you may have a very, very supportive friends and family, or you may not. If you do, they will stay around. And I heard another rep talk about this for 2 months. They will not stick around that much. They only need so many leggings so often, right? My mom was my best supporter. She bought all my sister-in-law's leggings. She bought herself leggings. She can't fit in our leggings, but she bought herself some. They're still sitting in her drawer. But I was so grateful. But guess what? My mom didn't need any more leggings. So then I realized I needed to get out of my circle. And I did it at the beginning, and I kind of fell back in doing that. How you get out of your circle is reaching out to people. You need to tell people you are there, and you don't have to do it in a super obnoxious way. We've all gotten those messages that are like, hey, peep my page, you're whatever, right? It's I know that was totally generated. There's some girls that do 50 messages a day. I personally try and do 10 to 15, because I can personally write 10 to 15 messages and connect with 10 to 15 people every single day, whether that's 5 in the morning, 5 at night. I can personally do that. And that's how I've been able to go about those messages in a more personalized approach. And I'm telling you, they can tell when I've mass sent out something, I've gotten no response. When I have said, hey, and in fact, at the end of this, I find something I can connect with them. Let me hurry and go back. How I find these people to go and message. So I usually try and find a way that I can connect with somebody. What are some of my interests? Okay, so pretend I used to marathon run. I used to marathon run. and I hate it, but pretend that's still me, okay? So then I'm gonna hashtag pretend St. George Marathon. That's where I live. I'm gonna hashtag St. George Marathon. Then I'm gonna scroll through those and see who I connect with. Who's a girl that lives in the United States? That's who I'm gonna connect with. We have something in common, right? We both like running, we both are girls, and we both live in the United States. So I'm gonna message her and I'm gonna say, hey, I saw you just ran the St. George Marathon. That is a brutal course. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Sara Andersen. I don't know if you've heard of Zyia Active before. We are an amazing activewear company. I think you would love them for running. They don't fall down. You know, I'm not going to talk to her about being squat proof. She doesn't care. So I'm not going to even, you know what I mean? You can kind of personalize it and be like, if you would ever like to try it, just let me know. The other option is you can offer your discount and it costs you nothing. Maybe a little bit of commission. So sometimes I'll say, I'm happy to give you a discount on your first purchase, because that for me gets them in the clothes at a quicker rate than me begging them to purchase. I'm like, it's up to you. If you want to try them for a discount, they're here for you. If not, that's okay. Because I think the reality is when we sound desperate, that's when it comes across as not awesome. But so many people come back around and they're like, oh, you left the ball in my court. I actually want to try those, and I'm going to give you or use your discount. So the thing about giving a discount is 9 times out of 10, they come back and they buy more at full price, or they sign up, right? Everyone falls in love with our leggings. Make sure you get them in the right ones with the pockets that are amazing, and do that. So that's something that I found is very helpful, is writing personalized messages. Now, sometimes they could be a more generic, bold message, like informational message, but connect with them in the first message that you send over, and then you can copy and paste if you don't really have time. But at the end of it, I like to say, I actually personally wrote this to you. I'm not a robot. You would be surprised how many people message me back and they're like, I think that's so awesome you said that. And I was like, well, I'm really not a robot. I really wrote that to you. And I get responses. Yeah, some of them don't buy, but at least they like have noticed me, right? So anyway, reach out of your circle. You're so easy to scroll past, you're so easy to scroll past, but reach out of your circle and draw attention to yourself, and then they're going to start noticing you. Something that else I think that is huge is to be your best customer. So yeah, we can be online, we can do all of that, but the things that will sell most online and in person are you in the clothes, or your customers in the clothes. I don't care if you are a size 0 or a size 22. Everyone is people relate, okay? They're going to relate to you, and they want to see you in the clothes. They want to see how they fit. They're not interested in the stock model. And when everybody's posting that stock model, they're scrolling even faster if they follow a few reps. So post yourself in the clothes. You don't even have to say, this is my cute sweat. This is my cute vest. It's $79. Message me to buy. You can post a quote. Monica and Katie are so good at that. Post a quote with your vest. Talk about different things other than the vest. What did you do in your vest? Did you go hiking in your leggings and then you didn't have to pull them up one time? It's not always a catalog. You're not always screaming buy from me. Be like, oh my gosh, these leggings, I was able to do squats, and look, they're the white camos. You couldn't even see anything. That's all you have to say. And people are like, oh, well, that's kind of awesome. Instead of like, buy from me, they're $75, or I know how much they are, but I'm forgetting right now. Anyway. So I think that that's helpful, is putting yourself in the clothes. Being your best customer. The next thing is, and I know that Katie and Monica have something with this for daily business building activities, but I think that it's important for you guys to figure out your daily non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables for your business? My personal ones are working out in my clothes and be friendly. So I can sometimes have like a mean face when I'm working out, like I just don't smile. I'm not there to like make friends, but I try to be nice so that if they want to talk to me about my pants, I'm approachable, right? So I try and always wear my clothes, and I try and time it to what maybe is coming back in stock, I don't know, it's fall, so I'm wearing my wine capris. They're a good color, and then I make sure and post about it. So my non-negotiables are working out in the clothes, posting about my outfit of the day, or something that I'm wearing in my stories. I'm also reaching out, like I told you, to 10 to 15 people and doing a post. So those are my non-negotiables. If I get nothing else done that day, I've worked out, I've talked about my outfit in my story, I've done a post if it has to be about my outfit, if that's all I've got that day. Sometimes it's about my protein shake, sometimes it's about my dog, sometimes, anything. Just post and get yourself out there. and then reaching out. Those are my non-negotiables. And I feel like when I've consistently done those, I've done well, because reaching out brings me to my next thing. Reaching out to people not only brings you customers and people to try and potential reps, it also brings you hosts. Our business is built on parties. And as much as we want it to be an online boutique, you will make your money in the party business. So when I talk about parties, I'm talking about events like at booths, boutiques. We have tons of little neighborhood boutiques around here, just out of people's houses, online boutiques. We also have Facebook parties, in-home launch parties, marathon booths, any of that. Party in a bag. That's another one I count as an event, a party in a bag. My neighbor wanted to try some stuff. I may not have had everything in her size, but I threw some stuff in a bag so she could feel it, see it, touch it, dropped it off. And that is the opposite of my personality. I was like, but if you want to try it, just let me know. There's no pressure. She ended up ordering stuff. So that's an event. That's a party. I'm counting that, right? So to kind of finish this out a little bit, in talking to some of our top leaders and asking where they're seeing, what reps are doing to seeing the success in their business, number one thing from across the board were reps were having 1 to 4 parties every single week. 1 party a week for sure, so 4 parties a month. The team that is killing it right now is having 4 parties a week. That to me is not sustainable for me right now. But that's not to say if that fits into your life that would be a bad thing. I challenge all of my girls to 1 event a week. Now that event can be dropping off some clothes to your neighbor. That's an event. You've made contact. That's what you need to do, right? Another one could be, I'm going to do a pop-up at the gym, at the farmer's market, at somewhere. That's another event. You want as many people in person or having your eyes focused on you in a Facebook party as you can, where they're not going to just scroll past you, but they are looking at you, why you love the clothes, what you're gaining from the clothes, what you've gotten out of Zyia. They're focused on what you are doing instead of, buy my vest, it's $78, or I can't remember prices right now. So that is something I challenge my girls to do, because with 1 event a week comes more reps, comes the $2,500 in PV. They're hitting over that 1,000. So then they get the bonus of the commission. It's huge and it's a game changer. If you want to take your business to the next level, 1 event a week, that means you are getting uncomfortable with reaching out and asking people. But with that comes a reward of more personal volume, a bigger team. You are growing your business in all the ways that matter. And you're conquering your fears. Okay. So you're growing. All right. The last thing, I'm going to let you go. That's probably over my time. I can't see how long I've been on here, but, so the last thing that, there's 2 things that I want to say, because when I was thinking about what I was going to say, there was a quote, it was on Facebook. I was like, what? You actually are good for something. There it is. So Facebook kind of screamed this at me, and this quote was amazing, and it was, action creates momentum, which in turn creates unanticipated opportunities. Okay. What that means to me is, if you don't know what to do, just start moving. Just do something. Because action will create opportunities, unanticipated opportunities. It creates momentum. You are not a stagnant person. Your business will be moving, and it will either be going forward or it will be going back. So as long as you're doing actions in the forward movement, you're going to be getting momentum. They will build and build and build until you have created something that you want. And then the last thing, I have to remind myself this as I get overwhelmed or, all these things, is even if it takes me 3 years or 5 years to make what so many people make in this business of $20,000, $50,000 a month, even if it takes me 3 years, is that not worth it? Right? Even though you may have had a bad month last month or 2 months in a row, or we've all been there, eventually it's going to go up, right? If you keep doing the business building and momentum and action activities. But even if it takes you 3 years to get where you want to be, isn't that worth it? Because what if my husband got this advice one time, and he goes, my uncle said to him, because we were deciding if we wanted to go back to college, he wanted to go back to college. And my uncle said, how old are you going to be in 3 years if you don't go to college? And he told him, he's like, how old are you going to be in 3 years if you go to college? And he told him, he's like, so either way, in 3 years, you're going to be 38. When you're 38, you're either going to have a degree or you're not going to have a degree. So do the work that it takes now so that in 3 years, when you're this, either way, you're 38 or whatever it is, that you can look back and have something that you're proud of and that you built on your own. So, okay, that's all I have.
Yay. Oh, Sara, that was so inspiring. I was thinking about when you talked about the action, action creates momentum. That's like my mantra in life because, I hope I can be an example to my team this way. I really try hard to just move forward. And that means that oftentimes the stuff I put out is not polished. For example, on my stories, when I talk about my outfit, I never know the name of the product. And I'm like, this is the split back long, like I just make up stuff. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what the name of the product is in that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, okay, when they go to order, they need the name or whatever. But the point is that I'm putting myself out there and I'm sharing the products that I like and I'm showing them. And so I hope that people see that from me, that I'm not polished and a lot of things I say are not perfect, but it's just movement forward. And so yeah. I believe in that so much. And if you just keep moving forward, things do tend to happen for you.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Erin Bradley always told me when they were starting, she's like, I felt like I wasn't ready to start this, but her brother kept telling her perfection inhibits progress. If you're waiting to be perfect before you get on and do the live and know all the names and you know what I mean, you're not ever going to really do it and you're not going to progress that fast.
Right. Yes. And people really relate to imperfection anyway, because we're all imperfect. So let's just all be imperfect together,
Yes.
I also, I loved when you were talking about how social media is like the most basic part of the business. And I was thinking of like a pyramid. I don't know. I don't know where it comes on the pyramid, but I see that so clearly. Do you guys see that too? That like posting is something that we need to do, but it is so much like the easiest thing we can do. It's the reach outs and the parties that require the effort. They're still simple, but they require the effort. And that's where the momentum really comes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that some of the girls, like when we joined a year ago, when Monica and I joined a year ago, it was still really new. It was only 6 months old. And so a lot of people that had started with the company, it did seem like they were just building their businesses from posting online. And maybe they were then because it was so new. But now that we're almost 2 years in, it's different. It's changed a little. And so we really do need to kind of do those behind the scenes things. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions, Shauna or Katie or Monica, or any comments? Okay.
Thank you so much, though. I love having you on. Oh, go ahead, Shauna. Did you have something?
Oh, no, I was just going to say thank you for coming on. I watched most of your videos on One Rep, or not One Rep.
Oh, good.
Page, but yeah, Zyia, yeah. There's a lot of pages.
There's a lot.
You can get overwhelmed by the amount of pages, honestly.
There really are. No, I'm glad to see like faces and names. That's what I love, especially like going on the cruise and pinning faces and names, and then like seeing faces and names here. It's super helpful. So yay, I'm glad that I could see you guys.
I love your Instagram stories, Sara. If you guys don't watch your stories, they're so funny. And I really love your videos when that dog comes in and you're always annoyed with your dog. It just cracks me up every time. It reminds me of my dog. He's laying over here smelly and old and drives me crazy too. And like Shauna's. We recorded this, and Sara, this was so valuable. I'm just suggesting that you should share this with your team too, because those were such good good tips. Yeah. So I'll send you the link if you want to share it.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And you guys, thanks for being on tonight.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks,
Have a good night,
guys.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye.